Hello guys and welcome to our today's video. So today we will see the assembly language program to count the positive but odd numbers from an array of elements. So we will perform this program in 8085 microprocessor. Right. I hope you all know how to count positive or negative numbers in an array and how to count odd or even numbers from an array. Right? They were two different programs, either to count the positive or negative number from the array or to count the odd or even number from the array. You can check out my video on both of these topics. Okay, so you can get the link from the I button. But this program is a combination of both of those programs, as here we need to count only those elements of the array which are positive and odd. And the most interesting thing is that if you understand about this program clearly, then you will be able to solve three different variations of the same program. How? Let's see. So here you have asked to find positive and odd numbers. If you understand this program well, then you can also find all the elements which are positive but even, which are negative but odd, and which are negative but even. So if you understand the logic behind any one of these four, then you can easily solve all the remaining three programs. Okay, so today we will discuss about finding the count of positive and odd numbers from an array of elements, right? So do watch out this video very carefully because this will help you to understand about all the remaining three programs also. So before solving this program, let's clear some of the ideas about positive, negative and odd or even numbers. So let's consider any data like D hex. Okay, this is the data. If we write it in binary format, what we'll get 11011101, right? This is 8-bit number. Now, how we used to determine whether this number is even or odd? So what we used to do is we used to check the least significant bit of this number, because we know if a number is even, that means it is divisible by 2, and in that case the least significant bit will always be 0. But if the number is odd, then its least significant bit will always be 1. So here you can see that the least significant bit is 1. And how we will check this? We will rotate this data towards right. Okay, so if we rotate this data towards right, then the carry flag will contain the least significant bit, that is this bit. Okay, so by checking whether the carry flag is set or reset, we can determine whether the number is even or odd. Okay, so here you can see this is odd number, right? Now how we will check whether this number is positive or negative? For that we used to check the most significant bit of the number. If the most significant bit is 1, it means that the number is negative. But if the most significant bit is 0, it means the number is positive. Okay, so here you can see that this is a negative number. And we will check the most significant bit of the data by rotating this data towards left by 1 bit, so that this data will be stored in the carry flag and we will check the status of that carry flag. Hence, this data is negative but odd. Here we need to count the numbers which are positive but odd. That means when the number is positive, so the most significant bit will be 0. And odd, that means the least significant bit will be 1. So if a number contains these two bits in MSB and LSB, then we will count that data. This is the funda behind this program. So if you get this logic very clearly, then you will be able to solve all these programs. So here let's consider an array of elements. So the count of all the elements is stored in the register C, and let's say there are 6 elements. Okay, so this is inputted from C050 hex address. Then the first data will be inputted from C051, C052, 3, 4, 5 and 6, right? And let's say the data are FF hex, C2, 93, 17, 2F and C2 hex. So here we can also take repeated data, right? Now we will analyze each element of this array and we will count only those numbers which are positive but odd. So if we inspect all the elements, then you can see that this number is negative. This number is also negative. So if a number is negative, then we don't need to check for the least significant bit, as we will not count those elements. Here also the MSB is 1. Now in this data, the most significant bit is 0 and the least significant bit will be 1. How? So we will write it in binary format. So it will be 0001 0111, right? This is 17 hex. Now this is the most significant bit and this is the least significant bit, right? So while checking for positive or negative, we will check the most significant bit. If the most significant bit is 1, then this is a negative number, and if this is 0, then it is a positive number. While for LSB, if the least significant bit is 1, then it is odd number, and if it is 0, then it is an even number, right? So here you can see that the most significant bit is 0, so this is positive, and the least significant bit is 1, so this is odd number. Okay, so this is positive but odd number. So this is the logic, but how we will check it through the assembly language program in microprocessor. So what we'll do is, this is the number, right? For positive or negative checking, we will rotate this number towards left by 1 bit. So what we'll get? Let's see. This is the number. So I'm writing this here. If we rotate this towards left, okay, RAL instruction. So this 0, so this 0 will come here, 0, this 1 will be here, then 0, then 3 ones, and here 0. So in this number, what happened is that if we check the content of the carry flag, okay, when we rotated this number towards left by 1 bit, then the most significant bit of this number came into the carry flag. So here the carry flag will be containing 0. Now we will check the content of this carry flag, whether this is 1 or 0. So here you can see that the carry flag is 0. So this is a positive number, and now this is the rotated number, right? And this is our actual data. So if we rotate this number towards right, then we can check in the similar way for odd or even number. But now the accumulator contains this data. So we have to rotate this data towards right 2 times. Why? If we rotate this number towards right by 1 time, then what we'll get? The same number, right? So this will be this, right? This is the actual data. So first RAL, then RAR. Okay, so this is the actual data. Now we will again rotate this data towards right so that we can check for odd or even number. So if we rotate this number towards right, it will be this. Okay, so again we have performed RAR instruction. So 1 time RAL, 2 times RAR. So by doing these, we can check for positive but odd number. Now we will write its assembly language program. One thing here, as we need to count the positive but odd numbers, so we need to store all those counts in some register, right? So first of all, let's initialize a register like D register with 00 hex. Okay, so that D register does not contain any garbage value. Now the next step is to initialize a memory location, that is HL register pair, from some memory address, that is C050 hex here. First of all, we will input the total number of elements in the array and we will move it into the register C, right? Now we will start inputting the first data. So this is the first data and move it into the accumulator. All right. So now we have our first data into the accumulator. So the next step is this one, that is rotate towards left. So we will write RAL instruction here. Then we need to check for the carry flag. So it will be jump if carry loop. Okay. Now understand here, if a carry will be generated, then this loop control will go to some other location, right? But if the carry is not present, then it means what? it means that this is a positive number. So the condition for positive number is satisfied. Now what we will do, we will rotate the same content towards right to check for odd or even numbers, right? The next step is to rotate the content towards right so that we get our actual data. So for that we have performed RAR instruction, right? So here we get our actual data, right? That is in this case 17 hex. Now we need to rotate this one towards right to check for odd or even number, right? But before doing that, I'll perform two steps, STC and CMC. Okay, so what is the use of these? So STC stands for set the content of carry flag. That means while performing STC, carry flag will be 1, and CMC is complement the content of carry flag. So when we will complement it, it will be 0. So what it means is it will reset the content of the carry flag so that the carry flag always contains 0. Now what is its use? It is used because see, we have performed the rotation many times, so there is a chance that the carry flag contains some garbage value. So to ensure the correctness of the program, we are performing these two steps. So in this way, the content of carry flag will be set to 0. Now we will perform RAR instruction to check for odd or even numbers. Now while rotating towards right, if the carry flag is 1, it means this is a odd number. But if this is 0, it means it is an even number. So here we will use JNC loop, because if the content of the carry flag is 0, it means it will jump to some other location. But if the content of carry flag is 1, it means what? It means that is an odd number. So in that case, we will continue these statements. So what we'll do, if the number is positive and if the number is odd, then we will increment the content of the D register, because this register is containing the count of all the positive but odd numbers, right? So this is our actual result. Now the next step is to decrement the content of C, that means the count of all the elements in the array, so that we can move to the next element. And next step, you all know, we will check for JNZ loop so that the content of C is equals to 0 or not. So this JNZ loop will jump to which location? If the content of C is not equals to 0, that means we will fetch the next data. So for that, we will move to this location. Okay, so that here we will fetch the next element, move it into the accumulator, and all the steps will be repeated. Let's say this is loop 1. Okay, and here we have not written the control of these two loops. So this is the JC loop for positive number. If the number is positive, then these statements will be executed. But if the number is negative, then we don't need to execute these statements, right? When we know that the number is negative, then we don't need to see whether this is odd or even number, because we are not going to count that. So from here, this loop control will go to here. Here we will decrement and move to the next element. Similarly here, if the number comes out to be an even number, then this loop will jump to this location only. So if this is loop 3, then this is also loop 3. Okay, so both loop 2 and loop 3 control are going to the same location. So this was the loop part. Now what we'll do next, we will store this data, that is the content of D. So for that, first move the content of D register into the accumulator and then store it into some location, let's say C500 hex address, and then halt. So this was for checking positive but odd number. But as I have said, by doing some minor changes, we can check for positive but even number, negative but odd, and negative but even. Okay, so what are the changes? The changes will come here and here. Okay, for positive but odd number, we have used JC loop in the beginning and JNC loop here, right? But for positive but even number, the GC loop will remain same. But here we will again do check for the GC loop, because see, if the number is even, then only we will count the number, right? Just by ignoring this n that is not, we can change from odd to even. In this case, for positive number we use GC loop. Here for negative number checking we will use JNC loop, and in the second time here we will use for the odd number. So as we have seen here, we will use JNC loop. And for negative but even number, this will remain JNC, and here you can see for even we have used JC loop. So here JC and JNC, these two loops will be altered by these corresponding values, right? And then you can easily check for all these four combinations. So I hope this video is very clear to you. If you are having any doubt, you can freely ask me in the comment section, and you can also find out the other links on 8085 microprocessor in my channel. So see you in the next video. Thank you.